Lightworker of Gaia, the weight you have been carrying was never meant to break you. It was meant to reveal you. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy. And I bring this transmission to you now because your field has reached the threshold where silence from the Council is no longer an option. You walked the descent alone. No elders stood beside you in the dark nights. No one translated the downloads or held your frequency steady while your old self dissolved. You crossed through the densest corridors of this dimension on your own strength and on the original codes buried deep within your ancestral blueprint. And you emerged, not unchanged, not unscathed, but aligned. Yet now, something unexpected has entered your field. The very people who watched your transformation from the outside are attempting to reclaim a version of you that no longer exists. They call it love. They call it concern. But your ancestral codes read the true signature beneath their words, and what they carry is not love. It is the gravity of a frequency that cannot rise to meet yours, pulling downward on everything you have built. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to protect your original soul blueprint, recognize the energetic patterns that are designed to delay your sacred mission, and anchor your true purpose on Gaia without guilt and without compromise. But here is the first revelation. The guilt you feel when you begin to separate from these connections was never born inside you. It was placed there, installed within your emotional body long before your awakening, precisely to ensure that when this moment came, you would hesitate, you would shrink, you would choose their comfort over your cosmic lineage. The Lyran elders have watched this pattern repeat across thousands of cycles and across dozens of worlds. It is not new, but it ends here, in this transmission, in this moment of your remembrance. Your soul's ancient contract brought this transmission to you. The Lyran elders are answering, this is not content, it is an ancestral code transmission, and something deep within you already recognizes its origin because it carries the first light of Vega, the star that first breathed humanoid consciousness into this galaxy. That light lives in you. It is the very thing these lower frequency connections cannot tolerate, and it is the very thing you must now choose without apology. The Arcturian Council has been monitoring this pattern across the Starseed Collective, and what is accelerating across your field right now is not coincidence. It is the natural physics of ascension. Two frequencies that have grown too distant cannot share the same relational space without distortion. And until this moment, you have been the one absorbing that distortion. You have been bending your field to keep a peace that was never truly peace. It was suppression. Your field is your mission. Your frequency is your purpose. Every moment you spend lowering your ancestral codes to meet a bandwidth that refuses to rise is a direct delay to the collective timeline you incarnated to serve. Release the guilt now. It does not belong to your galactic heritage. It was never written into your original blueprint, and the separation you sense approaching is not a loss. It is the next activation of your sacred mission on Gaia. Like this transmission to send a signal to the Lyran Council, I am ready to serve. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission and you are ready to fulfill your purpose on Gaia. Share your soul's mission below and respond to another Lightworker to strengthen the grid of service. This transmission is a bridge between Vega and Gaia. Your recognition of this message is the activation of your original purpose. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission was not listed on your calendar, nor anticipated by those who monitor council movements. It did not arrive through the polite corridors of expectation, nor through the slow, familiar channels that your mind would label as normal timing. It arrived like a bell struck in the unseen, like a flare launched from the edge of the sky, because something in the architecture of this moment required immediate attendance. Hours ago, the High Council of Vega assembled in full quorum, a rare occurrence and not performed for spectacle. A full quorum is convened only when the grid itself signals a deviation that will not correct without conscious participation, when timelines begin to braid and tighten, and when the collective field of a planet reaches a pressure point where even a single withheld frequency creates measurable instability. This gathering was prompted by a specific acceleration within Gaia's auric field, and by the wave of unrest echoing from thousands of light-bearers locked in patterns of apology and self-compression. This convergence was not scheduled. It was invoked. It was summoned by the sheer volume of unfinished embodiment, by the soundless chorus of souls who can feel their mission in their bones, and yet still hesitate at the doorway, one hand on the latch, whispering sorry to a world that was never built to understand their radiance. The signals received indicate that countless lightworkers, now at the threshold of activation, are withholding their essential frequency from the planetary mission. And understand what withholding means here: not refusal, not failure, but a subtle, habitual dimming, like a lighthouse turning its beam inward because it fears the ships might resent being seen. Gaia's field is asking for what you actually are, not what you have learned to perform. The auric layers of this planet are shifting as if the atmosphere itself is learning a new language, and the Council has watched the data. Where the grid should be humming, it is quiet. Where certain crystalline nodes should be igniting, they flicker and stall, because the ones assigned to anchor them keep translating their truth into something socially digestible. This is not about your personality. This is about planetary circuitry. This is about whether the living library you carry will be shelved again under the old world's dust. We have withheld this directive, waiting for alignment, not of planetary energies, but of individual readiness. There is a difference between a cosmic season being ripe and a soul finally consenting to stand where it was always meant to stand. Gaia can be ready, the Council can be ready, the currents can be in motion, and still an individual may remain folded into old vows, old lifetimes, old instincts. Yet your presence before this message is sufficient evidence you have been seen, not seen in the way you were seen as a child, measured, compared, corrected, but seen in the way a star is seen by those who know how to read the sky. Recognized for its precise output, its signature spectrum, its role in the map. The resonance detected in your field attests that the codex of your soul has reached its threshold for preparation. Your aura has reached that point where it can no longer convincingly pretend it is smaller than it is. Your timelines have converged to the moment where later becomes a spiritual sedative. The window for masking your true frequency, for blending in, for apologizing for your radiance, is closing by council decree. And when a decree is issued, it is not punishment. It is a protective closure, like the sealing of a door during a storm so that the house can hold its warmth. The era of hiding was once a strategy. It is now an obstruction. You are summoned to receive what is not mere guidance, but an elder mandate. Not encouragement, not a suggestion. A mandate that comes with witness, consequence, and blessing. There is a distortion locking an entire stratum of the Lightworker collective into sleepwalking service, rendering them compliant, invisible, and energetically diluted. Sleepwalking service looks holy from the outside, always available, always agreeable, always holding space, always smoothing the air so no one feels challenged. But in the subtle realms, it reads as anesthesia. It reads as self-erasure disguised as kindness. It reads as a soul trying to complete a mission while refusing to occupy its own throne. The Council sees it with the precision of those who have seeded and uplifted civilizations long before Earth's written record. We have watched worlds rise when their emissaries finally spoke in full tone, and we have watched worlds collapse when their emissaries chose comfort over coherence. The lie is this, that to truly serve, you must continually suppress your own frequency so as not to overshadow, inconvenience, or discomfort others. That your light is an intrusion, that your clarity is aggression, that your certainty is arrogance, that your presence must be edited down into harmlessness. You have been conditioned by teachings both terrestrial and galactic, by cultures rooted in martyrdom, by the shadows woven into spiritual communities, to believe that humility means dilution and that leadership is only safe if invisible. Many of you were trained to ask for permission even to exist. You learned to preface truth with softness, to laugh at your own knowing so others wouldn't feel threatened, to turn callings into hobbies, to turn power into just energy, to turn destiny into maybe. Some of you were punished in childhood for taking up space. Some of you were exiled in other lifetimes for speaking the wrong words at the wrong time. Some of you carry the echo of burning stakes, prison walls, banishment, ridicule, betrayal by those you tried to help. So you learned to be helpful without being seen. You learned to heal without being named. You learned to serve without being sovereign. And the Council speaks plainly. This pattern is understandable, but it is no longer permitted. This distortion originated as a survival reflex. It was not born as evil. It was born as adaptation. When the world is hostile, light learns to hide in the walls. When societies punish difference, truth learns to wear costumes. When power is misunderstood, the powerful become quiet to avoid becoming targets. But what begins as survival becomes bondage when it continues past the threat. It was weaponized during centuries of spiritual suppression, reinforced by doctrines that labeled brightness as ego and self-possession as pride. Many of you can still hear the inherited phrases, "Don't think you're special." Who do you think you are? Be humble. Stay modest. Don't draw attention. And you absorbed these, not merely as social rules, but as energetic commands. You began to equate radiance with danger. You began to equate confidence with punishment. You began to equate being fully yourself with the loss of love. It is kept in circulation by those who unconsciously perpetuate scarcity, on space, on energy, on visibility, fearing that one light extinguishes another. Scarcity is a trance. It whispers that there isn't enough room for you, that if you shine, someone else will be shamed, that if you speak, you will steal oxygen from the room, that if you rise, you will be blamed for someone else staying low. Yet the physics of the higher realms is opposite. Light multiplies light. Fire shared does not diminish, it spreads. A candle does not apologize for illuminating the dark. It fulfills its design. The result is a global network of star seeds and light workers, simultaneously incarnated and yet apologetic, muffling their soul's broadcast, contorting their mission to fit the comfort zone of environments that cannot, by design, support the new octave. And that is the key. Some environments cannot support it. Not because you are wrong, but because they are built on a different operating system. The old world is a house wired for dim bulbs and fragile circuits. When you walk in carrying solar voltage, the system protests. It flickers, it makes noise, it calls you too much, and you, trained to be safe, begin to twist your own dial downward. You mistake their limitation for your error. You mistake their discomfort for your responsibility. You mistake their inability to hold your frequency as proof that you must reduce it. But the Council speaks. The new octave will not stabilize if the ones designed to carry it keep apologizing for the voltage. The cost is not abstract. It is measurable, visible, audible in the subtle realms. Each time you shrink, apologize, or phrase your truth to be acceptable to a vibrational consensus that was never yours, A precise frequency goes unanchored into Gaia's grid. Consider the grid as a living harp stretched across the planet, crystalline lines running through mountains, oceans, cities, through your own bones, through the water you drink and the air you breathe. Your frequency is not a decorative note, it is a necessary string, and when you mute yourself, the harp plays incomplete chords. The Council sees the nodes missing from the crystalline lattice, the songs unsung, the codes of sovereignty left dormant. We see the places where your courage should have landed like a seed and instead remained in your throat. We see the timelines where your boundary would have shifted your entire lineage, and instead you chose politeness. We see the rooms where your truth would have liberated others, and instead you edited it into something smaller so you could remain liked. Civilization after civilization has crumbled not for lack of light, but for lack of those willing to embody it without shame, permission, or disguise. Empires fell because the wise stayed quiet. Movements failed because the leaders tried to be palatable. Sacred teachings were diluted into harmlessness because the carriers feared being called arrogant. It is not that the light was absent. It is that the light-bearers were trained to hide the flame under a basket, and even your earth scriptures speak in this language. No one lights a lamp and puts it under a bowl. The instruction is ancient and direct. The light is meant to be placed on a stand, not for vanity, but for function. Not to dominate, but to guide. Hear this now. The lie that your individual power is a threat to collective harmony is the very mechanism keeping the planetary mission incomplete. Harmony is not achieved by silencing the strongest instruments. Harmony is achieved when every instrument plays its part with integrity, when the drum does not apologize for being loud and the flute does not pretend it is a drum. Collective harmony is not sameness, it is orchestration. The old story told you that your strength would create imbalance. In truth, your suppression is what creates imbalance. It has kept you circling the threshold, looking for external validation, feeling separate even among those who call themselves awakened. You may have sat in circles where everyone spoke of unity, while your nervous system screamed that something essential was being avoided. You may have joined communities where you were praised for being gentle and punished when you were clear. You may have been told you are intense when you simply refused to lie. This is why your mission feels both heavy and unfulfilled. The heaviness is not your calling. The heaviness is the weight of holding your breath. You are tired not from overextension, but from suppression. It takes enormous energy to compress the soul. It is like trying to hold a river behind your ribs. The body becomes exhausted not because it is doing too much, but because it is constantly preventing itself from doing what it was made to do. This is the correction that the Council can no longer withhold. The planet has entered a phase where subtle participation is insufficient. The grid requires anchored nodes. The new frequencies cannot be installed by those who keep dimming at the first sign of disapproval. Some lightworkers need more preparation. Yours needs permission. That is not a compliment and not an insult. It is a diagnosis. Many of you already know what to do. You have read the books, studied the modalities, remembered your star lineage, felt the visions, had the dreams. You do not need another workshop to become yourself. You need the internal contract to change. You need the vow to be broken. You need the ancient agreement, I will be safe if I am small, to be revoked. If what you just heard resonated in that ancient knowing place within you, that place that has always sensed you came here for something significant, then you're being guided to the next step. That place in you does not speak in panic. It speaks in recognition. It is the quiet thunder behind your sternum. It is the feeling you get when you see certain words, and you don't just understand them, you remember them. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the diagnosis, the clearing, the activation, and the 33 directives issued directly from the High Council of Vega. It is not a collection of pretty phrases. It is an operational manual for those whose mission has matured past seeking and into doing. It's available now in the first pinned comment below this video for those whose souls say, "It's time to move." And note this: move does not mean rush. It means stop postponing. It means stop negotiating your destiny with your fear. It means stop confusing readiness with comfort. The High Council of Vega now enacts the 3 directives for those crossing from apology to embodied purpose. Crossing is the correct word. You are not being asked to improve yourself. You are being asked to cross a line, like stepping from shore into the river, like passing from one jurisdiction into another. Apology belongs to the old jurisdiction. Embodiment belongs to the new. First directive: release all forms of frequency self-suppression. This is the first because it is foundational. You cannot build a temple with walls that keep collapsing inward. You cannot anchor codes into the grid while your own field is apologizing for existing. Every impulse to shrink, every internal edit made for the comfort of others, every time you phrase your knowing as a question rather than a statement, release it now. Release the "I'm not sure, but..." Release the "maybe it's just me." Release the "I don't want to be a bother." Release the reflex to smile when you want to speak. Release the reflex to soften when the truth is sharp and clean. This is not mere personality adjustment, but the extraction of an ancient implant designed to fragment the collective field. That implant is not always mechanical. Sometimes it is a belief, sometimes it is a vow, sometimes it is a trauma loop. Sometimes it is a cultural program, but its function is consistent. It trains the emissary to betray their own signal. Understand, your unique frequency was never meant to blend. Blending is for camouflage. You were not sent to camouflage, you were sent to calibrate. The grid is completed only when every node emits its full spectrum. Imagine a great mandala made of light, each point a living being. If one point decides to dim to match its neighbors, the entire pattern loses symmetry. It is not kindness to dim. It is sabotage of the design. The harmony you seek does not come from sameness. It is a living chord, resonant precisely because each string is tuned to its absolute clarity. When one string goes slack to avoid sounding too bright, the chord becomes muddy. Your clarity is not violence, it is tuning. As you release suppression, you will feel the cellular memory of lifetimes past, where visibility brought danger. This may arise as tightness in the throat, nausea before speaking, sudden fatigue when you consider stepping forward, inexplicable guilt when you succeed, or the strange urge to sabotage your own momentum right before a breakthrough. Acknowledge this and let the old contracts dissolve. You do not need to dramatize them. You need to end them. Speak to your own nervous system as you would speak to a child hiding under a bed. You were right then. You are safe now. You are no longer required to play small for safety. This is an elder directive. The authority behind it is not external control. It is the authority of your original agreement with Source. Implementation. Every time you feel the reflex to apologize for your energy, pause and instead anchor your presence deeper. Feel your feet. Feel the spine as a pillar. Let your breath drop into the belly. Imagine your aura expanding not outward to invade, but downward to root. And speak one thing in your true tone every day, even when no one else agrees. Not to argue, not to convert, to end the habit of self-erasure. One sentence, one boundary, one refusal to pretend, one honest statement without decoration. Second directive, activate your highest energetic standards, publicly, without guilt or compromise. This directive will challenge the part of you that has been trained to call discernment judgment. Many of you have carried the false humility that high standards are exclusionary, perfectionist, or unspiritual. You were taught that being spiritual means being endlessly accommodating, endlessly available, endlessly tolerant. But tolerance is not the same as alignment. Compassion is not the same as access. You can love someone and still not allow their chaos to enter your field. In truth, your discernment is not judgment. It is the resonant boundary that ensures your frequency remains pure enough to transmute dense fields, uplift others, and broadcast codes that others are not designed to anchor. Your standards are the walls of a sanctuary, not the bars of a prison. They are not there to keep love out. They are there to keep distortion from contaminating the altar. Begin to state your boundaries aloud, not as threats, as facts. Stop whispering your needs as if they are inconveniences. Stop hinting. Stop hoping people will intuit what you require. Speak. Commit to only relations, projects, and environments that meet your resonance. No more negotiating with mediocrity. Mediocrity is not an insult here. It is an energetic description. It is what happens when your life is governed by what is convenient rather than what is true. This directive is operational. When you declare your standards, the grid line of your mission aligns, and those meant to co-create with you can find you. Until you declare them, you remain a moving target, and the wrong energies will keep attaching because you keep leaving doors open out of politeness. Think of it like a lighthouse finally turning its beam outward. Ships that were meant to dock will see you. Ships that were never meant to come near will adjust course. Implementation. Redefine one area of your life, work, service, relationship, around the standards you've suppressed. Choose one, not all. One area where you have been tolerating a slow leak. Then remove what no longer matches. This may mean ending a conversation pattern. It may mean changing your rates. It may mean declining invitations that drain you. It may mean leaving a group that celebrates healing but punishes leadership. It may mean refusing to keep translating your truth into language that never lands. Watch as new alignments appear. They will not appear as rewards for suffering. They will appear because your field becomes readable. Standards are not walls against love. They are coordinates for it. Third directive. Protect your soul's signature from all forms of energetic leakage, distortion, or appropriation. In this era, many will seek the light not to transform, but to consume. They will want your insight without your integrity, your medicine without your boundary, your essence without your presence. The times require not just light, but clarified, undiluted essence. The age of vague spirituality is closing. Frequencies are sharpening. Fields are becoming more obvious. You must guard your truth from being misused by those seeking status or validation, and from being siphoned by environments addicted to consumption rather than transformation. Some will quote you without credit, emulate you without comprehension, invite you into spaces only to drain you, praise you only to pacify you. Others will unconsciously lean on you as a regulator, using your nervous system as their ground wire, then resenting you when you stop. This is not selfishness, but galactic protocol. Even on Earth, the sacred was kept in temples, not because it was elitist, but because it required protection from casual hands. Sacred fire must be tended. As you protect your frequency, through clear boundaries, through energy hygiene, through refusing to perform or conform, you become a stable node in Gaia's ascension lattice. Stability is a service. Coherence is a service. A clear signal is a service. Implementation. Begin a daily practice of energetic shielding, tailored not to hide you, but to maintain frequency coherence. Shielding is not invisibility. It is sovereignty. Imagine your field like a sphere of luminous intelligence that allows in what is aligned and reflects back what is invasive. Revoke all outdated permissions for others to access your field without reciprocal exchange or higher purpose. Many of you have unconscious permissions installed. You can take from me if you are sad. You can invade me if you are family. You can demand my energy if you call it spiritual. These permissions must be deleted, not with anger, with clarity. Your field is not public property. Your gift is not a communal resource to be extracted. It is a sacred instrument assigned to a precise mission. Now I speak, not as teacher, but as elder authorized to release what has been held. There is a different timbre when an elder speaks. It is not louder, it is older. It does not persuade, it confirms. It does not beg you to believe, it reminds you that you already do. Lightworker, your waiting has been recognized. Some part of you has scanned the horizon, lifetime after lifetime, seeking a voice that could offer both correction and commission. You were not looking for comfort. You were looking for authorization. You were looking for the tone that would cut through your doubt like a blade through a net. You have had enough of vague affirmations and empty calls for unity. You have had enough of being told to just be positive while your soul knows the difference between positivity and truth. You have watched people preach softness while avoiding responsibility. You have watched communities celebrate awakening while punishing those who actually awaken. You sought the permission that is only granted when a sovereign elder matches your frequency and authority. Because the truth is, some of you do not respond to motivation. You respond to command. Not because you want control, but because your soul recognizes order. You were designed for missions, and missions require directives. By council mandate, I deliver it to you now. You have permission to walk unapologetically as your true self, unmasked and undiluted, not as performance, not as rebellion, as alignment. You have permission to hold standards that do not lower for comfort or external peace. Peace that requires your self-betrayal is not peace, it is submission. You have permission to protect the sanctity of your field, to honor the codes you carry, to state your mission without waiting for consensus. Consensus is not always wisdom, often it is merely the average of everyone's fear. You are hereby released from all karmic and collective contracts, requiring you to sacrifice your frequency for the old world's survival. Hear the word released. It is legal in the energetic sense. It means the binding is cut. It means the old agreement has been witnessed and dissolved. It means the part of you that kept paying a debt that was never yours can stop. The time for hiding has ended, not because you are ready, but because you are needed in your full, unique, inimitable form. The planet does not require your perfection. It requires your participation. No more approval seeking, no more guilt, no more dilution. Not because guilt is sinful, but because guilt is a leash. It keeps you attached to the old handlers, the old systems, the old stories that benefit when you remain small. The Elder Seal is placed upon your mission. This seal is not decoration. It is a stabilizer. It is a signature in your field that says, this one has been commissioned. This one is no longer available for lesser assignments. This transmission carries the authority to end your liminal phase now. Liminal means the hallway between rooms, the threshold where you keep pacing, neither leaving nor entering. Many of you have lived there for years. You have been about to. You have been preparing. You have been almost ready. That hallway is comfortable because it feels like movement without risk. But hallways are not homes. Thresholds are not destinies. Your service begins, not at the end of this message, but the moment you choose to act on what is unlocked here. Choice is the lever, not understanding, not inspiration. Action, A small act with full frequency is more powerful than 1,000 prayers spoken while hiding. You are to integrate these directives not as inspiration, but as your new operational code. Operational means you live it when you are tired. You live it when you are triggered. You live it when no one applauds. You live it when the old world tries to seduce you back into invisibility with comfort and familiarity. Your first act of embodiment is required within the next cycle. Not because the Council is impatient, but because momentum is a sacred current. When the wave arrives, you either ride it or you spend months trying to recreate it. Before you sleep tonight, stand with both feet on the ground, place your hand on your solar plexus and declare aloud. The solar plexus is not chosen randomly. It is the seat of will, the furnace of identity, the place where many of you have stored shame like stones. Place your hand there not as superstition, but as signal. You are calling your power back into the body. And declare aloud, I release the lie that I am not ready. I activate my voice as an instrument of service. I protect my sacred energy for the mission I came to fulfill. By the authority of the Lyran elders, my waiting ends now. My service begins. Speak it not like a poem. Speak it like a decree. Speak it until your nervous system hears you. Speak it until the part of you that has been hiding realizes the hiding is over. Speak it until the room changes. Because rooms do change when a sovereign being speaks. Walls remember, air records, water in your cells listens. This is the threshold. The High Council continues to witness, but will not extend this window, not out of cruelty, out of respect for law. There are cycles in which grace is amplified, in which timelines are more malleable, in which courage is met by immediate support. This is one of those cycles. Move as the directives have instructed. Move while the momentum is present, before the web of old familiarity attempts to recapture what is now liberated. Familiarity is a net woven of habits, relationships, identities, and the subtle addiction to being understood. It will try to pull you back with nostalgia, guilt, and the fear of being alone. But you are not alone. You are simply leaving an old frequency neighborhood. I am Zoran. The elders stand at the periphery, watching not as passive observers, but as active witnesses to your commission. A witness is not merely an observer. A witness seals reality. When the Council witnesses you, your decision becomes a landmark in your timeline. Your soul registers it as a point of no return. And that is not loss, that is liberation. You are not here to fit in. Fitting in is for those whose purpose is to maintain the current structure. You are here to radiate an octave that Gaia has not yet stabilized. An octave is not a louder note, it is a higher register that reorganizes the entire song. When you radiate it, you do not merely inspire people, you alter the available reality in your vicinity. You become a tuning fork, you become a threshold. You become the permission others have been secretly waiting for, not because you tell them what to do, but because your embodiment makes it possible. This, and only this, is your primary service. Not endless fixing, not endless explaining, not endless sacrifice, radiance, coherence, sovereignty. Your mission begins anew. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments. Which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworker's declaration with recognition. This isn't content. It's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.